All right, what's up, everybody? We are back. Um, we are talking about a very sensitive topic. So prepare yourselves. We're gonna get in deep, but not too deep, but deep enough for you to feel comfortable. Deep with consent, respectfully. However, y'all be throwing that in
It's
there.
the consent for me.
Yes,
I
yes,
like
yes,
deep enough for you to feel comfortable.
yes, yes,
That is
yes,
that is
yes.
care right there.
Yes. I always ask first how you want it. How do you want it? All right. Um, so we are talking about queerdom and what is it. So we're all in the queer, we're all in the clear. So essentially, what is it about being queer, or what, like, are we queer? Where are we in terms of understanding it? What is correct in quotations? What's incorrect in quotations? Yes.
What is queer?
Okay, I was gonna get there.
Okay, well hold on. If you're gonna get there, then get there. But like I
What
still
is
I'm
queer?
still learning what that is, and I'm sure that people like who are listening or watching are probably already like,
Hmm.
what is queer? What are we talking about here?
I'm gonna get, so my definition is anything that is outside of the scope of heteronormativity, and then I know that's like, what the fuck is heteronormativity? Like, I know that's the next question. So I'm gonna give you like the basic definition. So queer is a most multifaceted word that is used in different ways and means different things to different people. So it's a whole, like, it's a cloud, it's a spectrum kind of thing. Like, queerdom is a spectrum. All right, so the first definition is an attraction to people of many genders. Second definition is don't conform people that don't conform to cultural norms around gender and or sexuality. The third one is a general term referring to all non-heterosexual people. Some within the community, however, may feel the word has been hatefully used against them for too long and are reluctant to embrace it. And I have encountered people that are like that. And I have also encountered people more so like in the older generation. They're like, I don't like labels.
Mm.
I have 3 kids, but I've been solely with women for 26 years.
Oh,
That
that's a
kind of
great place to start. You know what?
thing.
Let's start at our beginning because
Yeah.
we're people that are in a completely different age, right? We're
Hmm.
heteronormalcy or what's normal anyway, right?
Hmm.
And then we've kind of we've in that threshold of we're still young enough to be open minded and see it as less taboo, but we're also old enough to have lived with our loved ones and our environment. When we were younger, around people that was like no names for their queerdom and the don't ask, don't tell nuances, right?
Hmm.
Or like you're sweet or you're a tomboy.
Hmm.
Within that scope, I feel like we should start at the beginning. Like, remember when we were doing watch party with the Discord over on Girls Can't Geeks Discord, and we decided we were going to watch Lovecraft Country. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we were introduced to, if I'm not mistaken, Melvin. No, not Melvin. The dad in Love,
Oh yeah.
where he was very much queer, but very much in his masculine and not willing to touch bases with his loved ones on the nuances until it was absolutely volatile and it was way too late. And I could see how that would be a trigger for people, like being raised by somebody like that, turning around and being, in our community, which we love, our blurs, and not being comfortable, like what Goku's saying, where you meet them and you're like, hey, I'm queer. And it's just like a trigger nuance. It's like, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you guys, with respect to friends that you've met that don't navigate the spaces of queerdom with vulnerability and comfort, where where does the line draw where you're advocating for queerdom, right, and openness and lifting the veil of taboo? Where does the line draw where you're just like, all right, I'm not going to push the envelope any further? When is it that you realize, yeah, this is a red flag conversation with this person, I
Whew.
don't think I can continue? Or how do you know when you're discussing this with these people that you love, that you really want to communicate, how do you know when you can actually enter that space further?
I'm gonna ask. Sorry, is my rain too loud? It's raining outside. Can y'all hear it?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I'm sorry. I couldn't finagle to type. So
I also only hear the washing machine in the room next door. So no.
okay, okay,
If y'all
okay.
can't hear my washing machine,
Oh,
they can't
well,
hear
I can't
yours.
hear it, so you good. But
All I hear are the birds here chirping. I'm like, did y'all hear the birds chirping?
Oh, I wish I
mm,
could.
right. Birds in what Hawaii? Is that how they say it? Yeah. Yes. But
Um, I'm not sure I understand the question, so I'm gonna let Goku go ahead because
I get it. I get it. I am down south. I'm not in the dirty south. I'm in the south. I'm in the southeast. So I'm in North Carolina, and that conversation right there, I I work at a community center, so I work with people that people still use the term that's gay or that's queer in a derogatory way, and the old school definition of queer is that it's different or strange. Um, but my red flag when I talk to people, it doesn't even have to be about anything that's queer. It could be something out in the scope of that's outside of heteronormativity. And so what heteronormativity is essentially it is like the cultural belief that certain things are between a man and a woman. So it's just the default heterosexual view of things. Heteronormativity is not normal, it is common. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's just a common thing. So anything outside of what's common is what people consider gay or queer. To more so. So for me, my red flags are when I talk about it's just a simple conversation about pronouns. Or people put it on to femininity. If I say something about I believe that God is a woman, or if I say somebody was trying to talk to me and I was saying that I don't really do I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. I do things outside of the sanctity of religion. However, I do have a methodology for how I choose to ascend. And they were like, "Oh, that's that stuff." Or I said something about just about something that was very pro black woman, and they're like, "Oh, you're into that femininity stuff." And I was like, "Yeah, actually I am." Okay, so for me, my red flags are if I ask a person what are their pronouns and they'll look at me like this, like I can't even go to deeper nuances of queer culture because people are just stuck at the baby steps. They're just stuck at pronouns. So that's my red flag thing. I look at pronouns. And what I do to advocate for myself and for other people is that I ask people, what are your pronouns? And there are people here where I live, they haven't been asked that question at all, you know. But there are trans people here. There are gay people here. There are like lesbian people here. However, I also deal with something where the older generations of people they do that. I'd rather not have a label, but they are visibly and we should also sometimes it's not all about what a person looks like, but you could tell that they are a stud. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna use that term. Like I could tell that you are, but you haven't openly expressed it at all. You just do it. For some people, it's like a thing. You're like, that's my business. Don't ask. Like, it's my business. Don't worry about it. I ain't gonna put no name to it. It's what I like. But if I bring up queer, they'll be offended. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And it's all
Yeah.
of that culture kind of like I feel like we're responsible as that medium threshold to kind of flesh out this process, this journey of that kind of falling away and that dying out. Particularly when I do see green flags. In my experiences, I've had dynamics where I do see the red flags. And normally I don't typically introduce myself saying, "Hi, my name is Bunny. My pronouns are she, her," right? But I do have my temperature checks. I advise anybody listening or watching to soul search on your own journey for where you lie on the spectrum of queerdom. If you're a listener or a viewer that defines yourself or would be interested in seeing whether or not you define yourself as queer, I would say work on that and then take a look at where you feel most comfortable looking looking at conversations as a temperature check. This is my methodology. I'm not going to say, hi, my name is Bunny. She, her are my pronouns. It's more like, hi, my name is Bunny. I'm from where I'm from. I do this for a living. And I am all about bringing out the best in people, places, and things, right? That's a feeler for me because once I say that to you, I'm in a sense letting you know wherever you come from, I want to bring out the best of that. Yeah. So if you're going to say, oh, okay, that's who you are, that's where you come from, you're going to feel a little more aware of me having an open mind, right? Because usually narrow-minded people wouldn't say, I want to bring the best out of people, places, and things. It's usually like, this is my hobby, this is what I do, you know? And so that is my temperature check, I feel like, to make the space safe enough for folks that are, you know, typically heteronormal individuals or on the spectrum of queerdom, as I find myself queer. On the spectrum, I'm like in between, I would say, which makes it a really safe space. Because while I'm very adamant about identifying as a woman, she, her, I have all of the heteronormal and I would say typical, you know, woman genitalia. I'm a mom as well, you know. And when you look at me on paper, I formally present myself as a cisgender woman because that's what I was born as. I just fall in the queer spectrum because as a polyamorous woman, I am also open to all genders within my stack of metas of partners. You know, I'm not going to navigate my polyamory the way other people navigate their polyamory. And so while I'm queer as a polyamorous woman, I'm also queer because I don't navigate towards my opposite sex, you know, solely.
Yeah. Okay. So
if that makes sense, like that's so that's my
it makes sense to me. Listening to like how Goku answered the question and how you answered the question, I think I kind of understand like what was being asked. And so I can say that like I think pretty much all my life like rejected heteronormative, but I didn't know how to I didn't know how to express that or how to give it language, right? So I was your typical tomboy growing up. I didn't like things that were overtly feminine, right? Because I know, you know, tomboy is not really like a positive term, but that was the language I had for it back then. So that's how I identified. I didn't like things that were overtly feminine. I still loathe like gender assumptions. That is something that I will like to, that's kind of like one of my red flags when I'm speaking with someone, when they have a tendency to all men or all women people. And it's like, no, it's not all, it's not associated with gender. That's the people, that's the person that you've dealt with. That does not apply to everyone of this gender. It damn sure doesn't fucking apply to me. And I'll leave somebody alone for deciding to lump me into a category like that instead of dealing with me as the person that I am. I've always felt that way. Because I didn't have really knowledge or community, I will say I didn't seek it. I didn't want to be labeled. When I got older, I leaned into the quote unquote role of woman because I knew that I wasn't homosexual. I wasn't interested in having sex with women, but I also did not identify with what society says woman is completely. So like I started to embrace the more feminine parts of myself as to not be categorized as, for lack of better, a lesbian. Like I'm not a lesbian. I don't want to sleep with women, but you know, the way that I present can come off that way if I'm not leaning into like my feminine qualities. And I didn't do that for a long time because I didn't want to be woman, whatever the fuck y'all say that is. That's not me. I am me. And so in that respect, I guess I fall into like the non-binary space, but I'm still learning about what that is, and I'm still learning about like how to communicate and understand that in a way that feels authentic and safe to me.
Mm.
I did have a conversation with my mom about it. Thank you, Goku, because I called you before. I think I called you
Yeah.
before. I
That
spoke to her
makes me
about it.
so
So I wanted to be
happy.
able to like speak to her about what that means.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, come to find out, like our thinking is very aligned. She is also kind of, you know, that way. Like I am me. I am not a woman. I am female. I am, you know, feminine. I have feminine qualities. She's also a mother, obviously. But what y'all say woman is and woman must do, not here. Not here. I am me and I do me things.
Yeah.
It's like naming it to tame it, right?
Yeah.
Mom didn't have the resources to figure out anything else outside of tomboy, and then later stud, and then later all of these other nuances before we were able
Yeah.
to, quite frankly, name it to tame it, tame the taboo, tame the guilt. And I want for us as a community to lean into that as our purpose, to remove the guilt from letting go of societal's norms, let go of the if whoever it is that you pray to or meditate to already forgave you. Okay, it's your turn. Forgive yourself. Okay, for not knowing better, for not having the resources, and do the work that it takes for you to be able to know these terms, these non-binary terms that now Jiggly is able to look into and say, hey, listen, might fall in that category. Or these terms like polyamory, right? I had to name it to tame it. I didn't understand, quite frankly, why these were things that I couldn't describe. But I don't have any other way of living other than being who I am. Not woman, like Jiggly says, but being me.
Yeah. Yeah. Often I relate to that. I mainly figured that whole non-binary thing out. Like, um, I learned how to communicate with hood niggas a long time ago, and I used to be toxic in my thinking when it came to women. Not pick me energy. No, absolutely not. But more so advocating for certain things in a sense where I did not respect women like I should have, but I also didn't respect men either, if you get what I'm saying. So,
Mm.
but I felt that way because my viewpoints and my perspective were never, when they're based on generalizations, I did not identify with them. And so I felt unseen. Like when people say all women do this, all men do this, but my perspective, I'm like, I'm Sierra and I think this way. So my thing would be like, I'm Goku. I'm whoever, like this is me. I don't think this way. So is there something wrong with me? I just don't have a place with anybody. So fuck everybody. That kind of thing. Um,
Mm.
my ex used to generalize women a lot, and it would make me so mad because I'm like, bro, like I don't think that way, and you're with me, and you're trying to generalize me. And then I would do something that would be feminine, and he would be like, well, see, you still, but I also do this. You know what I'm saying? So like, what the fuck is your no? That no, stop. You know. So I totally understand like that being fluid in your mindset and your thinking and not necessarily wanting to identify with one side or the other. You know, for me, I've never really been categorized as a tomboy, but I definitely have been categorized as just weird, just eclectic, just
I love
somebody that
it.
was good at everything. It didn't really have to do with anything. I used to try to like stay away from pinks, but I like pink sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like just anything that was super feminine. I used to like glitter. I used to hate glitter.
Aw,
You know, I used to
I
hate glitter.
love
Like
glitter.
I like glitter now, but it has to be like the glitter pieces can't be too chunky. Like it has to be just all like a certain kind of glitter I like like stuff like that.
Jig, do you fuck with
I
glitter now
listen.
as a
Here's the thing.
recovering tomboy?
Here's the thing. I had to get to a place where I had to allow myself to like
Mhm.
the things that I like
Mhm.
without accepting the labels that come with them, which is
Yeah.
one of the reasons why I now mess with so much pink. Believe it or not, pink is not my favorite color. My favorite color is yellow. But I wear pink as a reminder and a support and a rejection to the way that I used to think, where I associated pink with woman and pink with feminine. Pink is a color, and if I like it, then I can like it. I can like a thing that's pink without being a woman. You know what I mean? And other people can do whatever they want to do with pink. It's a color. It
I
does
love
not
it when
mean this
men
or that. And so that
wear like pinks. My dad wears like this nice salmon. How do you guys
Mhm.
say salmon?
Mhm.
But he wears like corals. My dad, oof, with his brown skin, that pink against his skin is amazing.
Yeah.
and
You
it's
know?
just a color. I had to do that with pink. I did that with nails, and y'all, it's been a while, but I kept my nails done, right? I like nails, and because I like nails doesn't mean that I'm anything other than a person who likes nails.
Yeah.
Glitter means I like glitter. It doesn't
Yeah.
mean anything other than I'm a person who likes glitter.
All humans should get their nails done. It is
Yes.
not a matter of I want y'all to get a full set. I don't care what it is. I really urge, if you are a adult who has a pulse and can move around, you should have nail hygiene. And then, moreover, if you're an adult, no matter where you stand on the spectrum of heterocy or whatever your sexuality is, if you're having intimacy and you're with another human being, get your nails done even more often. It's a sign of hygiene and a sign of full circle respect. What do I mean by full circle respect? We all have this typical nuance of what respect is. Don't diss me. Don't disrespect me. No, full respect is I'm going to protect myself and my hygiene so much so that you don't have to worry about me, right? Permeating your hygiene or making, for layman terms, affecting your hygiene while we getting it
Uh-huh.
popping. I don't
Uh-huh.
want for you guys thinking that you're gonna go out there on any part of the spectrum and think, oh, because I'm a man or because I'm cisgender man or because I'm a trans man, I don't have to get my nails done. If you're an
Mhm.
adult, you should be getting your nails done. It's a sign of hygiene. And later on down the line, you will see the benefits that come from getting your nails done. And when men paint their nails,
I
even
love it.
cis men, I am here for it. I want to see
Mhm.
you guys in the comments letting me know, letting the girls
Mhm.
know, what do you feel about getting your nails done? There's awesome designs that you can do that look like Samoan designs where it's geometric.
Mhm.
They'll take the black skinny acrylic line and maybe do stripes on your nails. You don't necessarily have to worry about it being glitter. But
Mhm.
listen up, if you're watching, try it. Just try it.
Yeah.
To each
It's
to each
it's the
their
way to
own things. To each their own things. I
yeah.
am definitely. We already talked about this. I have a hand fetish, and so I like a manicured hand. I still
I
don't.
want to. I
I
want to
don't
hear
think I
more
like
about
the
this.
way. I don't think I like the way nail polish looks on fingers that are male, but it's something I'm not used to. I'll put it like
Mhm.
that. It's something I'm not used to, and it's still me like detaching from old ways of thinking.
Mhm.
Um, but it's not going to make me stop messing with somebody. But I'm definitely not going to be like, "Hey, go get your nails done." I'm just not there yet.
What
But
about rock star
I
energy?
love a manicured hand. Get the hands done. I'm just iffy on the polish. Get the
Yes.
hands done. You had said you wanted to hear more about this hand fetish. I like big hands, and I'm not talking about hands that are big. I mean, I like big hands, like if they are proportionately larger on your body than like what is aesthetically symmetrical. I went to art school, so there's like a ratio. So if your hands are larger than they should be for your body, it's very attractive to me. Very wide palms, very thick fingers, muscular, veiny hands. Like I like big hands. I'm not gonna spend more time talking about this now.
I was saying that's a
thing,
coochie and
okay?
kinks.
Huh?
My thing
It was
is, I
definitely
don't like
cookie cakes, but
ashy
I like
hands.
hands.
I don't like ashy hands. I don't like ashy feet. So I am the type of lover, whether you are a man, woman, or somewhere in between or outside of that, I'm very much about that's a love language of mine, hygiene. Like I'm not gonna tell you whether or not your hygiene is subpar or that I want you to have a manicure. I'm gonna give you a manicure and you're gonna love it. I'm gonna give you a pedicure. You're gonna love it. I'm gonna put the coconut oil and we're gonna get it popping. I'm gonna do your scalp. We're gonna get all of the things. So I'm with you on hands. I'm all about hands and feet, but I go ham on the hands.
I was just say this is not a coochie and kinks episode, but I have a thing about ashiness. In a sense that I enjoy it, but I also have a liquid thing where I like to add lotion. So I like to add oils because of the fluidity and stuff. But let's stop there because I don't want us to turn into something else.
Let's save that. Let's save that for another episode.
I did cut out briefly. It's storming out here. But one thing I wanted to talk about also is understanding sexuality outside of what is heterosexual, and not in terms of the basis of gender identity, but like bisexuality, pansexuality, asexuality, someone that's aromantic, things of that nature. Because I attract a lot of demisexual men or demisexual non-binary people. Yes, Jiggly, you have your hand up.
I feel like what's that show? Squeeze On. What was it called? It was a cooking show, like a game show. Oh my gosh, it's gonna drive me nuts. Anyway, can you define some of those terms?
Okay, so I'm gonna give you my definition, then I'm gonna look it up and give you the
Okay.
I don't know. I just like to make sure I don't. Oh, it's 333. I like to make sure I get the right demi. So for what I understand, everybody says demisexual is someone that they don't have any type of sexual attraction initially. They are attracted to emotions in a person's personality first, then the sexual thoughts can come. That doesn't mean that they're not attracted to people, but like I'm kind of like that sometimes, or somebody's like, oh, he's fine, and I'm like, I see him, that kind of thing. Or like they'll be like, oh, she bad. I'm like, okay, like let's get to know her first, that kind of thing. So that's under the asexuality umbrella, and asexual is someone that doesn't necessarily have they also don't experience sexual attraction either, but they also don't experience sexual arousal either. They can be aroused. That doesn't mean an asexual person won't have sex. That doesn't mean those things, but this is just initially how they are by default. Like Big Mouth is crazy, but Big Mouth did an episode about asexuality where there was a character and he was asexual, but he enjoyed the person. He thought the person was beautiful. He enjoyed kissing them, but that was it. Like they didn't have the arousal aspect of things. Yes. So I attract a lot of that, and just to clarify, just to make sure, because I said I was going to get the Google definition. Demisexuality is a sexual orientation in which an individual does not experience primary sexual attraction. It's the type of attraction that is based immediately on observable characteristics such as primary sexual is just defining primary sexual attraction. We got that. But anyway, yeah, that's not the basis for it. But
So someone who is demisexual doesn't have a sexual attraction to you based on the physical form, but more so getting to learn you and know you as a person causes their sexual arousal.
Yes.
Or can cause their sexual arousal.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And I've been thinking like, am I like that sometimes? Because it's like that for me. You know, I could have feelings, but I just can't engage sometimes. I don't know. Someone told me like the older you get, the less you can really do one night stands. You can still do them, but like everyone in their lifetime becomes more demisexual when you get older. I guess that's they put age on it, but I mean, but
It
there are also people that,
unravels.
yeah, like there are also other people that aren't like that. You know what I'm saying? But it's been interesting for me because in the I do, I am attracted to women. I am attracted to men. I am also I'm pansexual, so it doesn't really matter. I'm attracted to spirits, that kind of thing. So um I enjoy when the old school term is metrosexual. That's old school term. Some people use the term femboys, that term. But like I like when men are more in tune with their expression. Let's go there. And that sense of expression that they have is that they paint their nails, or they will wear a crop top. G. They wear crop tops, or they'll take pictures of themselves a certain way, like I like that kind of energy. Um
Or they
so
dance when they have like they can express themselves through hip movements and dance.
yes, absolutely. And being someone
And
that's
still be in their divine
yes,
masculine,
yes.
similar to like influencers that I like who do that are like
Mhm,
Trevor Bell, the fitness
mhm.
influencer, who's also
Yes.
a male underwear model. He's
Mhm,
also a single dad.
mhm,
So he's quite frankly a cis man
mhm,
who is very in tune with his feminine, poses in ways in these underwear
mhm.
ads and all of that. And he's the dude that guys want to kind of like go to the gym and look like, right?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that I want to say, if that resonates with the audience, like if you enjoy that, like Goku mentioned, right?
Mhm,
Or maybe you are welcoming to that but don't enjoy it so much, like Jiggly mentioned, right?
mhm,
Let us know in the comments. Let us know in DM if you don't want anybody. If you've
mhm,
ever like navigated that as a cis man or whatever gender you are. How does that lie in for you? Like, would you take the nails and would you paint them rock star black? Would you just do no color and get a manicure like Jiggly you had mentioned, right? Because I'm interested in where cis men lie when it comes to
mhm.
that, particularly in our community.
Yeah. Like I remember we talk about eating booty a lot, but I had a conversation with someone, and he was like, Goku, I realized like I like I like analingus. I like getting my ass ate. I was like, okay, that's cool. And he was like, but I'm also understanding that it's not gay because I like women doing it. And I'm like,
Exactly.
duh.
It's a sensation. It does
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
sensation of it
Yeah.
occurring is what's most important. How do
Yeah.
you feel? How do you not?
Yeah.
What do you not feel? What do
Yeah.
you feel? If there's, it's a sensation, y'all.
Yes.
And
Yes.
if you're really wondering how to
Mhm.
get your cis man or your man to kind of be a little more aware and open minded
Mhm.
about the sensation, have them sit on a bidet.
That's a
Mm.
good one. I love bidets, by the way. But
And they
also
will too.
another another thing, it just left me. But
You were talking about eating a nigga's ass. Oh
no,
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 no.
no. I was
Your
trying to
friend's
move
ass
past
wanting
it.
to
I was
get.
trying to move past the butt stuff.
Oh,
Oh, okay. I was still there.
I'm like,
but
what?
I'm still there too, because back to one of those red flags, right, in conversation. I was speaking to somebody about sexual boundaries and like
Mm-hmm.
what they were into. And I could tell from the types of questions that they were asking me how open minded they were not.
Mm-hmm.
This person, I asked them about their kinks and like if they had taken the BDSM test, and their response was,
What is
um,
BDSM?
"I did something like that with my ex, but I didn't like it." And I was like, "Wait a minute, you did what?" Because immediately what I'm thinking is you don't know the difference between having a session and taking a test, because BDSM does not just mean whips and chains and choking and all of that other stuff. While it is, part of the world conceptually, that's not what it means. And so the fact that I asked you, did you take the test? And you said, I did that with my girl and I didn't like it. It's like, the other thing that happened, a few messages later, we're talking about analingus and rimming. And that was under his perceived umbrella of stuff that he wasn't into because he doesn't like men. And I said, if you're engaging with a woman, whatever's happening is not homosexual, it's not gay. And he was like, yeah, man, whatever. And I was like, yeah, I can't talk to you no more, because we're not aligned. You're not, even if that's not what you like, you're not open-minded enough to have a conversation about a perspective that's different than yours. And I can't jive.
Have your perception. Absolutely. That's your life. That's your world. But what's odd is, you guys listening, you guys watching, what's odd is when you realize that somebody else is a little more open to things that you are not open to, the dynamic that you should be taking is, while I'm not into that, thank you for being vulnerable enough, knowing that I'm a red flag, to even share with me. Try to take that road, y'all, if y'all are not comfortable. Okay. It's really, it's quite easy. If it's not for you, it's not for you. It's not, oh, well, I can't get into that. Oh, thank you for sharing that with me. Like, thank you.
It's not your cup of tea. It's not your cup of tea. But you don't have to drink it, but you also don't have to knock that shit over on the table.
I have an interesting perspective that I have gotten from some of my guy friends. Some men are more, what's the term? They're more, it'll come to me, but they don't want to do certain things that are nerdy, like cosplay, because they think it's gay.
They hesitate on cosplaying because cosplaying is gay to them.
Yes, like wearing the spandex and like walking around like half naked. They think that is.
People still think that?
Weird. Yes, people, nerdy men that are ignorant, still have thoughts like that. And
please let me see a bunch of Namors running around. Are you kidding me?
And I'm like, a lot of these things, what a lot of men or a lot of people, not just men, because there are women that are also, not in terms of the cosplay thing, but there are women that I have met that hold themselves back pleasure-wise, not because of things that they think that men like or anything like that, but it's more so because of the religion. It's that aspect of it. Like, so that has stopped a lot of people from more so discovering certain things. But for me, they think that it's like anything that goes back to the heteronormativity thing, like anything that is not normal, common, or traditional is that's that gay thing. Like that's that weird thing that they feel, which is, what I was going to say, thank you. Most of the time, these things that people have boundaries on that are very ignorant stems from their own internal conflict or battles with themselves. And I have, what this journey has taught me is that a lot of people are not ever going to be able to grasp the concept because of internally they're so ingrained. You can still be trans and still be transphobic. You can still be a woman and be misogynist. You can still be non-binary and be sexist. You can still be gay and be racist and be, like, there's so many things there's so many layers to this. Also, we shouldn't assume someone's queer because they, in our minds, look queer. That's a space that we allow people to navigate on their own.
Because
I think that's
what does looking queer even mean?
Yeah, like we that's why people are like, well, I don't know what to do because you ask. If you can't get with the pronouns and you don't want to be respectful and that's not your thing, just ask a person their name and call them by their name. Like, there's so many things, like there's a process of deprogramming, and people understand that. I get that. I had to deprogram myself from certain thoughts. I had to deprogram myself from viewing people that are trans as sexual objects. I had to deprogram myself from viewing women a certain way, from viewing men as a certain way. I had to heal. I had to journal. I had to go to therapy to accept myself. And if you're thinking after listening to this, what can I do to understand this more? Read, research. If you don't like to read, there are plenty of videos on YouTube, you know, from people, not red pill people, not that, not them kind of niggas, no. But there are plenty of people on YouTube. There's also a lot of resources on Instagram and social media that you could use. There's a lot of websites and resources. Saying that you don't like reading is now an excuse to me because there's so many videos on everything out there. You know what I'm saying? They got infographics now, y'all. We can't go and say that. But with that being said, I know is there anyone else that would like to like add anything to this topic? And we can do another
I just kind
episode
of
on
want
it.
to like touch a little bit on the deprogramming, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
I am, while I identify and I feel comfortable saying that I am like non-binary, I still feel sort of strange claiming the umbrella queer. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that stems from that old way of thinking, that old association that you guys talked about earlier. And so, you know, that is part of my deprogramming process, because while I understand the designation, it still feels weird to come out of my mouth.
Mm-hmm. And with that, oh, you go ahead, Bunny. Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's part of the work.
Yeah.
When everybody's always throwing this coin term around, doing the work,
Mm-hmm.
it's as simple as that. Exactly what Jiggly just mentioned right now. That's part of doing the work.
Going into more spaces, hanging out with more people that identify the way that you do, seeing how people express themselves, you will become more comfortable with it because that's a part of, you know, deprogramming. You have to expose yourself to things that you're not used to, things that are outside of the common that you grew up with in order to fully grasp who you are. And that's even outside of sexuality and gender identity. Like it's even in gender identity, that's even outside of that. Growing as an individual, you have to face your fears, get past things, and do the work in healing. And healing isn't linear, success isn't linear, and sexuality is not linear either, you know. So there's so many things that we have to deprogram ourselves from and learn from in order to fully grasp them. But with that being said, you know, I think that we should call it time over here in Girls Kanky Clan. Thank you for all the love, the patience, the kindness, and we're all in the queer. Please remember, and if you understand that, you're all in the clear. So, see y'all next time.